We have uh, one of our best interviews yet, I think. And this one is not, well, it is kind of talking about an upcoming movie, but what we focus on in the interview isn't necessarily the movie itself, but more the process that goes into it. So I think that this interview is going to be really, really helpful for anybody who's looking to, get into it and kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, and it's not even some of it's the process of the movie, but the majority of it is all the posts, everything that comes after you yell cut for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk some about post where there's some just harrowing fucking things that people don't really even think about.
Well, I know when we did our short film, that when we did the final day of shooting, I was like, oh man, we're done. Boy, was I wrong.
That was in 2015.
Yep. And we're not done yet.
Nope.
So there's that.
There's a lot of great stuff with a great guy, returning guest. Just so much fun.
Yeah.
It was a blast. And we did a lot of talking after we stopped recording.
Yeah.
Just stuff that wasn't meant for broadcast. But a super awesome guy. We're going to be talking again. You know what would be cool? I would love to get him and his wife on.
Yes.
And talk about a couple, as production.
Yeah.
Production company owners, right? I think that would be really, really cool.
I think that would be awesome.
Mostly because I want to hear how she treats Liam.
Liam? I bet that she doesn't take any shit from Liam.
I don't think she takes any shit from anybody. Anyway, great talk coming up. So why don't we jump into it and let everyone in on this?
Actually, before we do that,
okay,
I know that he's going to listen to this.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna call out Liam. Liam Matheson,
who we've had on the show twice.
We have, and he's good friends with David and Ryan Keith, and they work together a lot.
Yep.
Shortly before we hopped on to talk to David, Liam sent me a message and asked me for a favor. He wanted me to record and send him a clip of the first part of our interview with David, because he had told David, and it had been a while since we talked to David.
Yeah, since beginning of June, end of May.
And he said that David asked him for our names, and he said that we were John and Amy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know if David would fall for it. And then he wanted the audio of his little prank.
Yeah. And it didn't work out, though.
Me up.
It didn't work out because it was through Zoom. And we didn't even think about it, but there's our names right up there. But it's kind of funny, just before we get going, because I've communicated with David a lot, but it's through our Bravo for the B-side account. So,
oh yeah,
it's just Bravo for the B-side. It's not Jim and or Danny,
right?
And after a while, you get like that. And I'll admit, there's a few people I communicate with through there, and it's the same thing. It's their show. Or their company name. And I've completely, it's like, I hope it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah. I know a couple of the people that we have had on here. I've become friends with them on social media, not through the company account, but through my personal account.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So sorry, Liam. Just had to.
Maybe next time. All right. All right. So let's get into this wonderful talk and bring the joy.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. I'm Danny.
I'm Jim.
And this week, we get to interview David Ryan Keith again, and I'm super excited. Welcome back, David.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you. Excited because in October, what is the actual date for the VOD and DVD release?
The 20th of October for the US.
All right. 20th of October. Redwood Massacre, Annihilation. Finally.
Yes.
I know
we've been mentioning it quite a bit in our episodes. Your names come up a lot. And we haven't talked about the movie because we didn't want to ruin anything. But now that things are kind of flowing and some reviews and stuff are coming out, we're actually going to do a modified episode next week. We're not going to do the hit by hit walkthrough because we don't want to spoil it for folks. We're going to hit some general highlights that don't give things away, but it's very exciting. And congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks. I know it feels like an eternity that we finished the movie. It's a kind of weird one.
So this is DVD release. Is there going to be a like there was for Redwood Massacre? Is there going to be a Blu-ray with extras or too early to tell?
They never tell me. They didn't even tell me the trailer when the trailer came out. But I think the plan is it comes out DVD and VOD digital, and then I think if the sales are good, they'll roll out Blu-ray. But I think they do the Blu-ray more in the foreign countries, believe it or not, like Germany and the UK. So fingers crossed in the US. It's almost like you guys don't have Blu-ray players over there.
Oh, they're here.
We do, but most people here now just stream stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's
DVD
digital.
and Blu-ray sales have been kind of plummeting.
Yeah, digital purchases are wiping it out. I mean, we had over 500 discs, DVD and Blu-ray, and it was with great pains we had to throw some out just because of space and everything. But I love having physical media.
Oh, yeah.
Because when the internet goes down and you want something to do,
of course.
Pop in a disc.
And I've always got a tear that comes to my face when I know something's going down to DVD when it was shot so much higher quality. I'm like, oh.
Right.
So,
Redwood Massacre, Annihilation.
Yep.
Yeah. So, this is the sequel to the Redwood Massacre for our listeners who haven't gone through all of our previous episodes and who don't know much about it. And Redwood Massacre was this awesome horror movie. It was done on a pretty low budget. And then, David, you got some pretty big names for Redwood Massacre Annihilation. And some more money.
Yes. Yeah, I know. A lot more money. A lot more money compared to the first one. I'm still kind of surprised that I came all the way back. Because once I finished doing the first one, I kind of thought that the movie wasn't, I can't say it was that well received when it came out, but it was actually quite popular in the US, not so much in the UK. So I was kind of surprised when I pitched the idea maybe to do a second one, and they were like, absolutely, let's do it. I was like, okay, wow, that was easy.
Now, I want to get to this because it's been killing me. So we noticed that in one of the reviews, the reviewer referred to the killer as the Burlap killer, and you sent me the new link for the movie, and I popped it up and went straight to the credits, and I saw that the killer's name in the credits is actually the Burlap killer.
And that was you guys, though. Yes. Yeah,
I got to tell you, I'm on like cloud nine that I influenced a murderer's name.
I am so thrilled. You know why? It was weird because ever since the first one, there was never a name. And we never knew that a lot of people would watch it. But every time someone was referencing the killer, there was no name. So the pressure was kind of on. You guys, you've got to give him a name somehow. And yeah, that's right. You guys named them, and I was like, that's perfect. Just and it sounds cool as well, Burlap. So
yep. That's true.
So I fan for life, man.
Thank you. It's like a 7-year mystery of what we were going to call them finally solved.
I have a question. Now, we have spoken to a few other filmmakers. The most recent is the creator of Ryan Kruger, who has created
Fried Berry,
which is still showing at festivals and stuff. And it's not in the mainstream yet, and they're already doing like merchandise.
Okay.
He showed us a mock-up of action figures, and they're doing like weird stuff from the movie, like condoms and just weird things,
gum and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about bringing the Burlap Killer?
I mean, like this, the people listening won't be able to see it.
Oh my God!
Yes,
that's so cool.
But this was my wife got this made for me after we made the first film. But I don't know. I think I don't know if the merchandise is something we can do ourselves. I think it has to have enough interest that maybe a third party could do it. I'm not sure. I just don't know enough about it, or if there's even a demand. Well, I guess I'll find out after the second movie, but maybe there's a demand. I don't know, but
I know
for your listeners, that was basically just the Ken doll dressed as the Redwood Massacre.
That looks awesome, though. I think there would be a demand. There's a lot of folks we chat with in podcast community, and most of them do strictly horror podcasts, and we're horror fans. But figures like that, even the most mundane, go big in that community. So I don't know that this would be a $1 billion enterprise, but I think it would go quite well in for horror fans who love to collect these things. Of course, we break them out of the package and play with them. So
I hope so. I mean, I think maybe because Danielle is in the movie, it'll reach a bigger audience. So I don't know. I just need someone to do it. I'm like it's just I wouldn't even know where to start with merchandise for something like this.
Maybe I'll look through some links. Send you some stuff, because I would love to have some merchandise from this, because Redwood Massacre blew us away, and we've talked. You know how much we love it. Redwood Massacre Annihilation blew us away. It was it was a lot of fun, and a different type of film. It's not in cadence with the first one. So we still have the killer, and he's still impressive.
Oh yeah,
it's all get out. But yeah, I don't know that these films are so good, and we've had people reach out to us who, hey, I just listened to your episode and I found Redwood Massacre, and it's wonderful.
Super cool.
Oh wow!
Share that with people. I lost my train of thought. I'm kind of fanboying right now, just getting lost in.
No, that's one thing that I had to do an interview a couple of days ago, and it was for a magazine in Brazil. And at the end, they were like, "Do you want to say anything to your fans, the Redwood Massacre fans in Brazil?" And that kind of blew my mind, because I never, for one, I would never think people in somewhere like Brazil or around the world still watching the first movie. So it's it's still, even to this day, a weird thing to comprehend in my head. You made such a small budget movie, and although most people, if I'm being honest, didn't like it, there's still enough people out there that did, that are still watching it. In 2020, the weirdest year in our history.
Um, with I have to ask this: have you gotten paid for your releases in Germany yet?
No.
Okay.
It's
that came up last time.
Yeah, I know. It's man, honestly, it's most we're lucky because the distributor we're with now, they're very honest, like financially, but that's definitely not the case for a lot of distributors, even in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But Germany, they know they're in a different country, so they're just like, whatever, you know what I mean? You ain't getting your money. What you going to do? Come and get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really annoying because that's been on television in Germany, on their movie channels.
Really?
All that kind of stuff. And it's just I would have to physically go to Germany and do some kind of legal action, I guess.
Wow.
Probably just
now, with all this going on, and I guess this would be good for people who are getting into all this and, you know, trying to make a movie and get it out there. When you work with a distributor, once you sign the deal, right, mm-hmm. which is my understanding, dealing with these guys, especially like the first few times, you're kind of just signing away like they're your adoptive parents. They're going to make your choices and decisions and things for the film.
Yeah.
Once that happens, is there any communication? Because I've seen a few instances where films have been in Germany, oddly, filmmaker would be like, "Hey, my movie's out on Blu-ray in Germany, but I saw it and somebody just like hacked it up."
Yeah, that happened to Redwood Massacre as well.
Really?
They really screwed up the disc in Germany. But yeah, really, when you hand over your movie, well, in my experience anyway, to a distributor, that you're really saying goodbye to the movie, and it's now their property, I guess, and they can do whatever they want with it, and they do. So, like even the trailer for Redwood Massacre Annihilation, it was a friend. He contacted me and he says, "Oh, by the way, your trailer is playing on like Bloody Disgusting and all that." I was like, what? I didn't even know. But, yeah.
Oh man.
Wow. So with all that hard work, it comes down to you just got to keep your fingers crossed and hope they'll do right by the movie for their various markets.
It's even when the movie comes out and I watch the movie, like I'll maybe watch the VOD version, I'm still kind of like, is it correct? Because you just don't. Like I had my first movie came out and that was completely different to how I sent it. That was like a different distributor, but I have friends that do the movies as well, and everyone's got a horror story about the movie that comes out. You know, mm-hmm. Either the colors, something wrong with the color, or the sound is all messed up. There's always something.
Oh man.
So it's and the more you go up, I guess the bigger the distributor, the more assured you can be that I'm still at that stage, even though I know the new one is correct, it's going out properly, I'm still like so it's a weird thing.
So one thing that I really liked about Redwood Massacre Annihilation, and like stop me if this is spoiling stuff,
no.
The first one was a bunch of kids in the forest. Yeah. And the second one is just a completely different story where it's not something that's happening to them. It's they're actively going out and trying to find him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, you know what it was? When we did the first one, it was more of, I thought maybe the audience wanted more of what they've seen before in the old movies. You know, like a kind of love letter to the old movies. And I think that kind of backfired on the film ultimately, you know, as it came out. People are like, I've seen this before a million times, and it's true. So the second time around, and even for my own sanity, I had to change it up because I'd just literally be filming the same stuff. So it's just constantly trying to come up with something different, right? Because, you know, once you film actors walking about slowly one or two times, you know, like, hello, let's go down there. Like, honestly, I couldn't do another movie. It's so boring.
Well, I like it because it's an interesting kind of spin on the horror movie, the classic horror movie.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really had much time to let it sink in and think about it, but I think that the idea was to try and kind of throw it on its head and try and do something as original as you can in a slasher, I guess. Which isn't. There's not much room for that. So
it was, well, I think with the first one, there was like a horror community. We're looking for something new.
Yeah.
And last time we talked about like the jump scares and these things that aren't really scary. They all just kind of fell flat on their face. But now I'm noticing they're going back to the old formulas because Netflix, especially Hulu, they are pounding out these films. And I think they have gone to their library of rejections that they've like, not now, maybe someday, pulling stuff out of the closet because they're just putting dozens of horror films out with all this pandemic because nobody in Hollywood's really working.
Yeah.
And they're not great because they're some of the newer stuff you could tell was rushed. Right. But they're going for the old formula, but they keep trying to put these twists in.
You know what? You can't win because people are looking for something new, and then when you give them it, they kind of moan about it was too different from what they used to like about in the old days. So I guess it's finding in between. But yeah, same with every remake, isn't it? Every remake they try to change it, and you end up appreciating the original more.
I've always found horror fans, especially, you can't appeal to horror fans. There's always just that little group that your project's gonna land on, and those are the folks who are gonna be, hey, this is awesome, and then you just kind of have to accept everyone else is gonna be like, this and blah blah blah. This was no good. This was old. This was that. But then a slightly different project will hit them, right? And they'll be like, yeah. And we're more of the classic folks, which is, I think, why we love these films. Because we're just not caught up with this new stuff, particularly like the paranormal stuff. It's just old and boring, and scrolling through, now they have whole categories in the different streaming services. You have horror, you go to the horror category, and it has this big chunk paranormal or supernatural. And I go through and I'm like, oh, let's see. Okay. So paranormal 75. Oh, there's paranormal 76. Okay. So I can watch those two back to back.
It's crazy because they just follow the trends in the market. Like, we've been guilty. We made a paranormal movie solely on being told that's what was selling that year, and that year stretched on for like 5 years. So they just, like, even the big studios, it works all the way down to the lower movies like this, where they just really do listen to the markets and pump out them as fast as they can, try and cash in. It's bizarre, but it makes sense if you look at it a business way, I guess, but depressing, especially for horror fans.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have like 1 million pandemic horror movies coming out next year.
Oh my God.
Like, it's just, even my next movie is a pandemic movie. So I'm already caught up in the next movement of horror.
I think for indie filmmakers, I know a few who this has been huge for them. There's a gentleman in London, Blake Ritter. We've talked about him a lot because he's been making shorts. And he actually, it was funnily enough, in January, he made a short about COVID-19 before it hit the world stage. So then he ran with it, and he basically, with a few people who live in his building, is pumping out these really good quality short films. So much so, he was able to start a campaign to raise money for a feature, and it's just going gangbusters. And I know there's a few people who have been like, let's use this time to, do stuff. And all of his shorts weren't pandemic related. He's a very Hitchcockian / creepy as hell kind of horror short writer. Do you think is there a part of you right now that's like caged in because of all this, that when, say, in 3 weeks, everything dropped down to 0 manageable levels, everything's under control, and we can just get back to business as normal? Do you see any kind of changes in you on approaching things?
I've been lucky because I was hired to do post-production on another movie just as it hit the virus, and that's kind of kept me. And plus, I'm in here anyway, so I've been like, I never go out anyway. But we were, in that sense, we were really lucky because that kept us going. Our actual clear focus movies, most of our real money comes from like commercials and advertising. That's gone. So it's one of those things, dodge the bullet. But yeah, what was it? God, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah.
If this were to all come to an end relatively soon, would anything about you change in what you're doing? I mean, is there like something you're holding back on, or?
I don't know. It's a good question. It almost feels like we're living in a weird movie at the moment. So I'm just looking for this to all end now and kind of get back together. But it's, I guess, if you look at all the conspiracies and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I don't know how this movie is going to end.
Well, I kind of get it. We're not big going out into the world people. I mean, we like in the summer, we occasionally like to go out and do some hiking and, some bike riding.
When we do go out, it's not typically to places that have lots of people.
Yeah. That's like me. That's like my family. We're the same. So I think it's only once, like, there's now and then we've went out and then you've been reminded someone says something or makes you do something that that's out of the ordinary, that really reminds you, wow, okay, yeah, things have changed. And are we going to go back to normal or not? But yeah. I'm happy living in a box, making rubbish movies.
I think the only impact is for our daughter.
Yeah, I can imagine, yes.
So where we're at, our city school district has decided to do all virtual learning, and they're going to do it each quarter to see, if they've gotten better, which coincidentally in the last 2 weeks, it's gotten
worse,
way worse because of the college kids. So it's hard because she's 11. She's a little social butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can imagine
this is her level of interaction right here, staring at people on a screen and being stuck with us all day long, every day,
and it's crazy because their generation are now behind in their education and they'll never kind of catch up in a weird way, will they? I mean, they're going to be the COVID generation, the lost year.
Oh, there we go. Well, she'll be all right because I'm extremely anal retentive about education, and we homeschooled her at one point. So, yeah, we're going to make sure that she's caught up. But not a lot of people have that.
She's always been a little bit ahead. So, if anything, she'll just kind of, line right back up.
But,
yeah.
Let's talk about this post-production work, because you had some interesting messages and tweets about some of the nightmares.
Yeah.
Can you just share some of those?
Oh man. Well, I won't name the movies, but you get all sorts come your way when you're doing post-production, and even in bigger productions where you would expect people to know the basics, they don't. It's such an odd thing for me. Most of my time is screaming at the sound guys or just such basic mistakes that you would, like, even movie students don't do. I come across in productions that come my way. So it's just like, God, yeah. So I'm still waiting to work on the one movie that's perfect, sound wise or visually. This is 20 years I've been doing it now. I'm still waiting.
Well, you had one where they sent you files. They were destructively edited. Was that what it was? Or they didn't send you the master? Or they lost the master file?
Oh my God, yeah. So they send this a big mad rush to get the movie finished in post-production, and they send the hard drive over from Los Angeles to Scotland. They get stuck in customs, finally get it. There's no movie on it.
Oh my God.
Everything's there except the movie. So that's just like an example. Or there was one I worked on where before you do the sound, the picture's got to be locked, obviously, because the sound is done in like like a different package. And they had me working on that movie for 3 weeks, and then I got the email, sorry, we sent you the wrong cut. I'm like, oh my God. So scrap the 3 weeks, work on it again. Sorry guys, we sent you the wrong cut again. So it would start again. And then we finished the whole movie, and at the end, the person watched it and was like, "You're never going to believe this. This isn't even the final cut." So that movie's went out, and it wasn't even the final cut.
Wow!
So it's just like madness. But I refuse to believe this is normal. But, yeah, there's some horror stories.
Wow,
it's crazy.
But now, for your post production, you do it all yourself. Or you're present. Is that right?
Yeah, I have to do all the post-production myself. It's more like a trade-off because post-production is really expensive. So, for instance, when they said we're going to have Danielle and some of the actors in the second movie, they were like, but the trade-off is you're going to have to do the post-production because there's no more money. So that's how I'm stuck. I did it for my first couple of movies, and I was just kind of expected. I'm kind of stuck in that. It's okay. He'll do the post-production. Let us know when the movie's finished, kind of thing. But,
oh man.
Yeah.
Would you want to hand it off?
Yes, 1,000,000%.
What would
100%?
What would have to happen for you to feel good doing that? Given that you've been on the receiving end of these screw ups, and to feel safe. I mean, that's after reading these things as you were putting them out, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how I would handle life if I put all this out and found out, Bob sent the wrong contraction and Susan over here sent them to Tanzania when they're supposed to go to Aberdeen.
You know what it is? It's because most movies in my level of making movies always try to cheap out in post-production. So they always go, like, for instance, one film they went to, is it called Craigslist in the US?
Yeah.
They hired an editor off Craigslist. And I'm like, you're making the biggest mistake. So they screw up the whole movie, and by the time it comes all the way back, they've spent 5 times as much as just putting it to a professional post-production house. So every movie tries to cheap out, and it always backfires.
Oh my God!
I've never seen a successful person try to get like a good deal in post production. So yeah,
would
like
you?
I sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was saying I don't mind editing my movie. Like the actual editing process is really quick, but it's the sound and the color, and it's kind of unhealthy, I think, to be stuck with your own movie by yourself for such a long time, because you start to lose sight of the actual film, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe Redwood Massacre 2 is too long, and if I had someone else come in and be like, "What are you talking about? You need to cut that out, cut this out," that kind of thing, I think would help. So it's.
Do you ever see yourself getting? Because I know some people slowly build a team. for their post-production, so they have their colorist, they have just people that they know do solid work, are dependable, because as you get further up, the whole thing of deadlines becomes ever more important, as you've got investors and stuff.
I know those people probably exist, but I think the line is drawn at professional post-production house, and then the people underneath doing it kind of individually. Take your risk if you're going to go that way. It's just like, you don't know what you're going to get. So if I had the money, it would go to a professional, and then, I get the phone call, hey, the sound's done. I'm like, yippee! That's my dream. But yeah, God. I'm still traumatized from putting down footsteps in Redwood Massacre too. Like all the individual footsteps.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gaining a slight appreciation for it. We shot a silly little short film for to make light of, something to do in quarantine. But it involves a costume that's inflatable. So the fan's going. So we shot the whole thing knowing every single sound is going to have to be done in post. Just the ambient background white noise, just every little thing. And I'm starting to piece things together for it. And it's going to,
the fan in this costume just goes,
that's all you hear. Me in the background. Okay, now do this,
Yeah.
But yeah, piecing together all these little things. And this is only going to be like 11 minutes. And I just, wow. It's
like I spend more time on the sound design than any other aspect of making movies, without a doubt. Like, I don't think a lot of people appreciate how important sound is. Like, this is another story of another movie, but when they sent the movie over here, the sound guy they did screwed up the whole film. So 90% of the movie, it was like a silent movie basically. So every single sound, everything had to be put in. It took like 6 months to try and restore this film. So that's the first thing I always say to people: make sure you get a good sound guy. It'll save you a lot of stress in post-production.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a fantastic piece of advice. And I will say, you did a wonderful job on the sound in Redwood Massacre.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm still traumatized by it. But.
Well, our top 3 things you need to be on top of. Number 1, craft services.
Yeah.
If you don't keep them happy with food, you might as well not have them on set. Sound and lighting. Because sound is a small investment on good recording. It's like taking a picture. If you get it right in the lens, there's less to do in the back end. If you get the sound caught with, nice recording device, less to do cleaning it up in the back end. That can save a movie, because we've seen lighting is expensive. Lighting is hard in a lot of circumstances. But we always tell people do the best you can. But yes, sound has saved so many films that we've had lighting issues. It's like, I'm glad the sound's good, because I don't know what the hell's going on, because it's so dark and I can't tell. But it really carries it through, because it's so distracting. We've seen some beautifully shot stuff. And
then they talk and you're like, what?
Yeah,
what are they saying?
That's it. And guess what? That's the rule is, you can have the best pictures in the world. If the sound is rubbish, no one will watch it. You can have something shot on Super 8 grainy film that sounds perfect. People will sit there and watch it happily.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and we do.
Yeah. This is what I always say to the people handing me over their bad sound projects. I'm like, sound is 50% of your entire movie. You have to get it right. You know what I mean? They always hear this phrase from me when it's too late, but they always remember it for the next movie.
Then do you get to post edit the next one with good sound? Or do they take it?
Sorry?
Then after you tell them sound is important, do you get to post edit their next movie that they did the sound right on?
No. But like, I think like one of the movies I did where the sound was so bad, and it's not their fault. They hired a sound man and they just assumed that he knew what he was doing, and he didn't. I think it's a problem in Los Angeles, maybe, where everyone has a CV, but they don't necessarily have the real experience. So it's like trying to weed out who actually can do it. But for their next movie, boy, did they make sure they had like all the sound covered. You know what I mean? So it was like a good learning thing for them, I think. Well, and it's not even their job to know about the sound. That's the problem, really. You know, it's a shame.
Well, in LA, that is true. You have thousands of people who have CVs with, sound work.
Yeah.
And what people do is they look at the quantity of projects, not the quality of projects, because there's so many things going on out there that never see the light of day.
Yeah.
And, so this guy has been bouncing around because he went out and bought himself a boom mic, and he's got his recorder and his discs, and he's signing himself out as the Craigslist guy and recording these sounds. Now you're looking through and you're like, man, this guy's got 27 projects he's worked on. I'm going to get him.
Yeah. And some producers in Los Angeles, I know, use that IMDb as a Bible. Like, he's got this. He knows what he's doing. And then find out.
But he's the one who put it up there. It's like Wikipedia.
Exactly.
Nobody's checking the work. Because we did that on our first short. We had a professional sound guy. And I think we mentioned it before when we talked last time. That series of shooting was the worst sound out of all of it. For all the rest of it, it was me. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I don't know how to point a microphone, and I know how to turn the thing on and hit the button. But, following the lead, we didn't label any of the sound takes. And
you know what? I think sound is the one aspect that you can kind of fudge your CV. Sorry. It's harder to check as opposed to like a visual, like say a DP show reel where you see it straight away and you're like, oh, it's perfect. Sound is just a little bit harder to track down to really know if it's, been done properly or not. That's the big problem, I think.
Well, it is.
Independent movies.
Well, a lot of movies don't have crew credits at the end. A lot of these really small productions, it's shot, written, and starring this and that, but then they don't get into like grips, sound design, all this stuff. So it's kind of easy, I would think, if you're going to take time to fill out your IMDb, you're already on there. Look for things that don't have any movie credits. Like, oh yeah, I did sound on that. Nobody's going to check.
Well, even if you're listed in the credits as the sound guy, then, in post-production, they send your film to you, David, and you have to put in all the sound by hand.
Yeah. And, I say to those guys as well, look, I still don't regard myself as a professional sound engineer. I know, they listen to my movies and they're like, well, it sounds good to me. And I'm like, okay, well, if that sounds good to you, I'll make your movie sound like that. I would never say, I wouldn't be walking into a big movie saying I'm a sound designer, because I'd get fired within 10 seconds. So even though I've probably got like an IMDb credit for sound design, sound mixing or whatever, but yeah.
Well, I working on this stuff, even just the podcasts, and I've mentioned it in many episodes. We've talked about sound frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I've told people straight, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've learned what the knobs do, and I've learned how to make these things, and then I'm listening to it through these headphones, and I'm like, you know what? All right, that sounds good. Now, if you ask me specifically why, I don't know what a 5 hertz fall off is. I don't know any of that.
You know what? It's crazy. That's where I'm at. I know how everything's done, and I have a general understanding of how it's all done. But I'm always in the back of my mind, no, it could be done better. Do you know what I mean? And that's like the worst thing for me. Like, I guess everyone's just got to try and learn everything themselves these days with this kind of like podcasts. indie movies. Everyone is kind of being forced to.
Well, yeah, with YouTube, it's also, because a lot of podcasts we've sampled, like from the because it's been almost a whole year since we've been doing this. We listened to some stuff, and even today they're still going on, and it sounds awful. And I think there's a difference between people who just do it to do it. And I also get that sense in some of the movies that we've seen. They're just like, well, if we've got the sound bars going up and down, we're gold. It's like you can't, right? You can't be bothered to, something so simple as swap out a microphone or put up some foam or something super simple to take steps. And I don't know, I'm kind of mixed where we're seeing a lot of stuff, like I said, Hulu, some of it with big names behind it, all these, horror fests and stuff. It's almost like, all right, guys, I got 4 days. Let's do this. And in that 4 days, we're going to do it all. So today we're going to shoot, tomorrow we're going to post, and then the next 2 days we're going to celebrate with champagne. And you sit down and you watch it and you're like, yeah, I can see that's how it went.
I honestly think there is now an issue, a quality control issue, and I'm not talking about the studio movies, even some TV. Some of it is really bad, and it never used to be like that in the old days, if you know what I mean. But it's so everyone's got access to cameras, microphone, like stuff that we would have never had years ago, and the standards definitely drop. That's for definite.
Yeah.
It's like a really weird, you thought they would be going up. Everyone's got access to them now. And
yeah. To me, it's like journalism. Being writers, grew up, I grew up reveling in the US, names like Tom Brokaw and Dan Rather, and, these giants of delivering the news during the week and on the Sunday night news shows. Just impeccable, the way they spoke, how they put their stories together, being fans of, some of the pioneers of science fiction and stuff, like books like Dune. And then we have, the Lord of the Rings, which is here's your 3-act story in massive form. But I thought with the rise of the internet and accessibility, everyone getting their stuff out there, people would get better. But I'm seeing what are supposed to be professional journalists writing. It's like my daughter was when she was 8.
Blog posts.
Yeah. The bad grammar, missing information, the misspelling, relying on autocorrect and stuff. I think with filmmaking, because I sit down and start doing this stuff, and the first thing that comes up, the first thing in front of my face are all the automatic switches for everything. Automatically balance color, do this, denoise, level sound up, 8 dB, done. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They're relying on the technology to carry them through, and they're not putting in the time to actually learn this. Color correction is still my bugbear. It's killing me. But little by little, I'm learning. It's a symphony of things that need to happen to get the color that I want. It's not just tint or raise the exposure, bring down a midtone, done. And with the ease of cameras.
Did you not put your phone on airplane mode?
I did now.
Oh my God. You're terrible.
With the access of...
This is not the first time, David.
Be quiet. With the access to this stuff, and like the iPhone camera does so much for the user. And as a photographer, I look at it as, one, that's kind of nifty, but two, it's like, well, where's the art? Conscious decisions. It's like, would you ever consider shooting a movie? Say someone gave you, here's a Blackmagic, here's a couple lenses, and we got it all set up for you. Everything's on auto. Go. Would you?
No. The good thing is, on the higher end cameras, there is no such thing as automatic, which is fantastic. Because I know one day there will be, though. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like like the Sony cameras that do automatic focus on cinema lenses. They're not great, but they're getting close. And then, so yeah, it's getting lazy, I think. I think that like all that stuff learning about cameras, sound, it's such a cool part of the movie process anyway. As you start to learn and maybe you look at it back and you're like, oh, it kind of looks like a real movie now. And that's just like your learning curve. But now you're right. Maybe just press auto, record. And like my wife thinks I do it here, I have one button I press and the whole movie gets edited. Yeah. God knows how this all... Technology is just going to keep growing, isn't it? It's going to make everything easier for people. And I guess the art of making movies will change for everyone, I guess, eventually. We have 12K cameras now came out for Blackmagic. So essentially you could shoot one big wide and get like 6-7 shots out of that.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
Well, it's like with the book publishing. Everyone can self-publish. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that's fine because having dealt with publishers, I know kind of the bullshit that goes on with some of that stuff. But I've also seen for screenwriting software, there are plugins for certain titles that will help you generate lines.
What?
Wow.
Right? And to me, that is the epitome of laziness. That is,
That's awful.
That's worse than giving someone $100 and saying, write me a story and then put my name on it. It's not even, at least that person's being creative for you, So yeah, it's crazy. It's I knew it would happen because it's a natural extension of like Grammarly. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, and they don't think when they make these commercials. Guys like, oh yeah, I rely on Grammarly to correct, and they show this like sheet of words. And it's like bang, 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 bang. It's correcting all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, you're a shit writer. Nobody can make that many mistakes, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I mean, I run stuff through there sometimes, and because I do for work, I do, various like blog posts and, social media kind of things. And I run it through there to make sure I'm not missing any obvious stupid mistakes, like, missing a comma or fucking up some punctuation.
I do too. I think it really has that on.
But there's only ever like maybe 3 or 4 in a 500, 600 word, thing.
Right. Well, I believe every tool has a purpose. Now, the extent of that purpose, though, depends on the person who's using it and how much they want to put into it. Because we've done that. We've done grammar checks on scripts because, and then here's the problem. So you write a script. Script is now. Everything is now. It's happening. Mm-hmm. Then you go back to writing a third person, adventure story, or I go to writing working on the conversion to the graphic novel. You do that too many times, you start all the grammar starts getting jumbled up in my head. Am I speaking present tense, past tense, me, second, third? What the fuck am I saying? It just gets confusing. So it's always nice to check those kinds of things. So that's a great tool. But I would never go on a commercial and say, yeah, and then I'm so goddamn bad, we're not for this. It's doing it for me.
The future.
So you, I think earlier in the week, said you were in writing hell.
Yeah, so I think the producers, they got like a 2-picture deal, and they were both going to be shot in the US, and I was going to go over and direct one of them. And then I can't get into the US, obviously, because of the travel ban. So they tried to switch the script over to be shot in Scotland. And right now they're off with Daniel Harris. They're making another movie for in LA, another pandemic movie. But they put off the script for so long, and we're like, you have to send us a script. We need to organize the film, and then eventually they sent the script. And if I was honest, it wasn't really something I would want to direct. I'm not saying it was bad. It was just like,
just not your flavor.
Just not my kind of thing. So I pitched like a different kind of idea, and without really telling them, I rewrote the whole movie from start to scratch, and only sent it to them like a couple of days ago. But luckily, they liked it. But yeah, it was like a mad, because I knew they had like a deadline to send to actors, so I was like, I need to get my version finished before they start putting out the other one. So it was 4 days to write a whole script. Crazy.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That was awesome.
Just like steam coming off my fingers. And it's just annoying because every film I do, it's kind of always rushed. You know, they get the money and then it's a mad rush to quickly get the film into production, just in case maybe the people that put the money in change their mind or put it into something else. So it's just like, go, 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 you know. And same for Redwood Massacre, Annihilation, same for the film before that, and now the same for this film. So I'm kind of getting used to it now. It's that's why my beard's grey. like my beard went grey like after Redwood Massacre, Annihilation. That's just from the torment of making it.
Oh, but it's a lovely anxiety in the end to have to be able to sit back at one point and think, I had this to be anxious about, you know, as compared to a lot of people just don't, because they either don't go ahead and do it, or some people get it all together, start, and then fate just, you know, drops a crap bomb on them. They're like, oh, damn, so close.
Like, it's true. To be fair to the guys I work with, the producers, and talking with many different actors, like they might rush things or whatever, but to get the movies made, like there's so many people I speak to, they're making a film and it doesn't happen. They're making another, it doesn't happen. The guys I work with, they're like, the film's happening. We're shooting in 3 weeks. That kind of thing. So it's like a double-edged, you know, it's good and bad. But
it's curious too. A lot of it, you know, 99% of it is that particular person's inner drive, you know, to get something going. And we were talking with Ryan Kruger. He had the best answer, I think, of, you know, why'd this movie get made? Because he called like someone up and he said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. And, you know, I want to make this movie and it's got to happen next week. We got to start next week. You know, and the question was, well, why? Because after next week, I'm not going to want to do it.
Yeah. Sometimes stuff like that's like a really good example as well. So sometimes just having a date, like you can moan about that date all you want, but just having that date's enough to drive things into motion to get it going. And like, you know, once you start making a movie, it's like it doesn't finish until, you know, it doesn't stop until it's done.
Yeah.
And then you can moan about it some more, you know, like, God damn it, I needed more time or whatever. But the film's done. The film, you know, so I think, yeah, it's true. It's certainly people that produce in America and all that, they seem to have a certain kind of drive just to kind of cut through all the bullshit, and
yeah, you're
making the movie and that's, you know, it's happening.
That's pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah.
I was actually just thinking, so I think we talked last time, we have a horror as our first script that we ever wrote years ago. It's a zombie origin story. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's going to come off the plate, because the whole point of it is to start basically, you know, a genocidal pandemic. So I think that has something to do with it too.
That's
timing.
Probably not marketable for a while.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it gets to be the big thing. I suppose I would jump on the wave, but I'm just thinking of, you know, so now the coincidence of it is that it looks like it could have been written yesterday.
Maybe we should send it to you, David, see if you want to make it.
Yeah, and you know, they don't want to admit it, but they're desperate for content right now. You know, they really are going to be running out of stuff. like productions have been shut down for 6 months.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a moment in time where they've run out of every terrible direct-to-DVD movie, and there's going to be like maybe a couple of months of this, I think. So it's a great time to make a film. Anyone to make a movie, I think. You got a good fair crack at someone picking it up.
Yeah. Well, and if you can, I guess that's the other thing too. Right now, I wouldn't put someone in the camp of, you're not doing enough, you're not ambitious enough. Because there have been a couple big productions that they announced, hey, we're starting the next season. And then we shot 2 episodes and we're closed down for maybe ever because someone got sick.
Yeah, like set. Batman. Batman. I know. That's the risk. And that's why, honestly, how many films have they got now that haven't come out? They might never come out. I mean, they keep pushing it back and back and back. It's a weird time, and it's I think it's a sad time for all the actors out there that really don't have any work. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know a lot of them are doing, crowdfunding campaigns and selling, shirts and just doing anything they can.
Just only so much you can do with all the restrictions and everything.
Yeah. A lot of them are going to YouTube to try and get subscribers so they can monetize the channel. And they're doing just videos, just talking,
Because I know, speaking with the guys that are shooting with Danielle Harris right now, the restrictions on actually making the movie are so ridiculous. It's, first of all, it's like $15,000 just to test people for the movie. So that's a big whack. And then you got to wear a mask. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. This, that. Really making it hard for people to make a film.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen with this? I mean, the Batman movie, that's crazy. They just start back up, and then the main star got the virus, and now they're shut down again. And maybe that's for the best, actually, after watching the trailer.
I'm not going to rush out to see it. If it lands on Netflix, I might give it a view, but it goes back to the, remakes and reboots. I just don't get it. I know that on the business side of it, you have a title or a franchise that's been a known moneymaker, and then having to redo it and modernize it for this, demographic generation. I don't know. And oddly enough, a lot of it in the last couple of years has fallen crap. Bad reviews. People have shunned from it, and it's like nobody's learning. Just make shit up. I would rather make something new, not a remake, not a reboot, and have it dive than try to rewrite a known property and have it dive. At least the first one, hey man, I tried. I did something. People didn't like it. The second one, I think you're already up against the fence because half the people are asking, well, what fucking show is that? Well, it was 1982.
I think that's the problem with Hollywood in general, though, is they just follow the money.
Yeah.
That's why they're making, that's the only reason they're making Batman, full stop. There's no other reason. And that's why, all these movies follow. Yep. And they just don't want to take a chance. It seems like nowadays on making original content because they know they can make money with the other movies. So why would you take a risk? I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it's just kind of sad.
It is, but I still think, and we've mentioned this many times in our episodes, indie filmmaking, I think is still going to, it's still on its long climb, but it's going to get to the top and sit on the throne of we saved film.
Yeah. Like indie film, even when I go on Amazon Prime, the movies are bad, but the ideas are brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just the execution that lets down a lot of them. But the ideas are so far removed from the studio system that would never touch them. And you're right. Eventually, I think these kind of movies will start breaking it.
Yeah, I think 3 out of 4 of them, if they'd have had the kind of money that these tentpole movies get, then it could have been really good. you know?
I mean, it's literally, there's so many movies, if someone they just weren't made properly, and you're right, if someone give them some money, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Really
I
good.
think that'll start happening. I have seen, so like in the last week and a half, I think I lost count at 9, but more than like 9 big producers have left their studios and left their companies.
Oh yeah.
And they're in agents, managers, everybody's leaving the Hollywood companies, and they're going out on their own or joining very
smaller,
indie oriented type places. I think one thing that could come out of this that's good is I think there will be a huge money shift. I think the $1 billion Avenger movies are going to start to decline. I don't think they're going to go away, but I think
never will. But
I think that's going to be just the business. I mean, that's Hollywood. The occasional blockbuster big screen. And I think everything's going to fall down onto your guys like your shoulders to give us a good original, daring movies that don't follow the constraints, and you're not so much worried about the marketing and merchandising. You just want to put something out that people enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
And share your thought.
Yeah. And even to a certain extent, in a very smaller way, I'm like a victim of even Redwood Massacre. The only reason they gave me the money to make the second, because they were like, well, the first one did okay, so it's not so much of a risk. But to get an original idea off the ground would have been much harder for me, because then you got to convince them. Well, can we make? You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and I think that, like I said, I think that paradigm's going to change. I think there's going to be a lot more groups of people, producers, agents, managers, that's exactly what they're looking for. And, it's going to be hard for them. It's like, wow, we just spoke to like 14 people with brilliant fucking ideas. But we got to pick 3, and then we got to write them a check, and then, so I think it's going to be hard for them to start picking, because like you said, the a lot of films, especially on Prime, Amazon Video, is amazing. The number of stuff that they have that's all the way to the rock bottom in quality, story, and everything.
Yeah.
Up to, the blockbusters, but that whole range of really brilliant idea, and but for the bad lighting and, terrible sound, it would have been more enjoyable, but it was still fun to watch. Because,
but Amazon Prime and that, they're kind of part of the problem for not letting this happen quicker, because what do they pay? 1 cent for a 1 hour watch of your movie? So, I mean, how do people make money making these movies now? This is the big question, even for people making direct DVDs movies like me. It's like,
I think there'll be a reckoning.
That's why people are hesitant now, maybe to put, like it used to be, they used to say to me, if you can make a movie for $50,000 all in, you'll make money. And that was like a few years ago. But now it's, I don't know, now you're not guaranteed to make money regardless. So it's,
right.
It's just, I don't know, it's like a weird time for movies. Because is it a sound investment now? Even if the idea is good and you do find a lot of money, you might not get that money back. And then it starts the chain reaction of not wanting people to put money into something similar.
Right.
So it's, I don't know, it's like a weird.
It's a renaissance period, I think. Places like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, they're reactive. They've never been proactive. They've been reacting to stuff. So you're going to have to rely on the long uphill battle for things to change, to make it more equitable. But then we have all of these, they call themselves channels, but they're just small streaming services. Tubi, Crackle, Shudder. I know some of them are owned, like Shudder's AMC's thing, right? But they're operating on a very independent level. And they're all of them have movies made specifically for, because they've got these beginnings of these groups of people I was talking about. Like, well, we've got some money. I mean, not a lot, but way more than if you were to just wake up tomorrow and go, I'm going to make this movie, and empty out your savings and you've got $500 to do with what you can, like, well, we got $10,000 to get things started. What can we do? Can you give us an idea? And can you keep it within this range? If so, we've got the rest of that check for you. Boom. I just think it's going to really shift.
Yeah. Well, it feels like something's happening. That's for sure. I mean, you look at television now. Television is, you could argue, maybe taking over cinema. If you look at the quality now on TV, it's like movies. It's movie quality series. Yeah. So there is a big gap now, I think, for independent cinema. If everyone can just do it a bit better, if you know what I mean. I don't mean like these amazing ideas. Like, you're right that when you flick through Amazon, the ideas are just so good, so good. And then you play the trailer and you're like, God damn it. God damn it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we dive in though, even though. I mean,
I started watching them. I actually start really enjoying like really low budget movies on Amazon Prime, because I can allow myself to get past that now and just enjoy them for what they are. Like, I've watched some crazy ones, like VHS, and real bad ones. But
there's a really, really phenomenal one that's become one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time on there. It's called Space Trucker Bruce.
Oh my God, sounds brilliant.
It was made
That's
for
the kind of thing I would watch.
Under $10,000 by a guy in Alaska. Incredible. It's so fun.
I'll look for it. I will look for it. And there was another one that someone told me, the Velociraptor Priest.
Oh, Velocipastor.
Yeah, we did an episode on that. It threw me into such a rage.
But I heard it was like, I saw the advertising looked really good for it. The cover was brilliant and all this and that. But someone told me it's really bad.
It is terrible.
It's an uninflated T-Rex costume.
I gotta watch it.
In the episode when we covered it, I just ripped it apart, and the lessons were basically, it's when I started my rant on, if you're a filmmaker and you're making a movie about something, read a fucking book. Just sit down and read at least one book about what it is you're making the movie about. So it's a pastor, it's a priest. I'm a retired priest, so I know all of this stuff, and they missed the mark on every single thing. We just were watching a movie called Abominable.
Oh yeah, that's next on one of my lists. Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't get into it then. Just suffices to say, nobody read a fucking book on what they were making the movie about.
A great advertisement. I think I know the sales agent on my Facebook. He was going on about this Velociraptor movie, and there was another. Am I allowed to swear on this? This other movie he did. It's called Don't Beep in the Woods.
Huh.
And they managed to.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah, you can swear.
It's called Don't Fuck in the Woods, and the sequel, Don't Fuck in the Woods 2. I've never seen them, but like the Velociraptor, they managed to create a buzz out of nothing, and people are watching the movie, and now they're going to do a sequel to the Velociraptor Face Guy or whatever his name is.
Really? Oh.
I salute them.
Here's the thing. We have very few requirements. For a good indie film, you really, aside from the technical stuff, all you really need is a good story. And by that, have a story. There's a couple that we've seen that it's literally like they dressed a bunch of people up, set them out in front of the camera, and just counted it down. 3, 2, 1, go. And it's like improv. Nobody knows why they're there, what they're doing. So you got all this random
shit. Sure that's not Redwood Massacre Annihilation by any chance?
No, far from it. Oh, man. But yeah, Velocipastor, like I said, was an example of...
Velocipastor, Velocipastor.
That's okay. Have an idea about what you're talking about in your story. So if you were to do a film on genetics, some sort of genetic thing, and you're going to make a horror out of it, my expectation would be that, oh, well, I'm pretty sure David sat down and like, at least at a very cursory, like Wikipedia level, understood what this process is. Right.
Yeah.
We were a guest on another podcast, yesterday, and we watched a Masters of Horror. Masters of Horror was a series put out by Stars.
Like 45-minute films.
Yeah. They, just had a bunch of people like, okay, everyone make a 45-minute film. We're going to do a season. Right. The one that we watched, one of the saving graces was they didn't go on about shit that they didn't know about. They had a guy who was a physicist, and he's working on his laptop, and those are the two poison pills of cinema. If someone has a laptop, they fucking fix everything. Right? Well, I'm a writer, but I have a laptop, so now I'm going to change the weather. I'm going to break into the Pentagon, and I'm going to do all this and do all that, and we're done. Or as a scientist, he's going to look at the most mundane thing and come up with some weird ass, I'm going to make a death ray because I know physics, right? And they didn't, they glossed over all that. That was like the one good element of that film. The rest of it was...
There was another good element, but we don't need to get into it. So we're getting near. I know you said you were kind of limited on time, so we're getting near the time. So I want to bring it back around to Redwood Massacre: Annihilation.
Yeah.
And so you spent a lot of time in post on this, and I remember last time we were talking, I think we talked to Liam a little bit, and he was like, yeah, last night we were watching the screener or the draft of it, and David was just having a rough time. And
he basically painted you as sitting in the corner, just kind of like, oh, this fucking movie again.
There was like, I wouldn't call it a paid dispute, but they run out of money after we made the movie. So I was like, I'm not going to edit the movie, you know what I mean, until you've sorted out the money. And then eventually this went on for months and months and months. And then I just started it out of curiosity. And then before I knew it, I was doing it, but in bits and bobs. And then doing it that way, it just felt like it went on forever, if you know what I mean. So, yes. And then when we did have the final lock cut, and then when we went into the sound, it was, I didn't send it. It was only a couple of weeks ago I sent it. Got lost in the post, believe it or not. There was like people are having heart attacks, but it's a 100-minute movie. And as you're coming down to the end of post-production, you have to watch this movie so many times. And it was starting to honestly have like a mental effect on me, watching the same movie over every day, knowing I was going to have to watch it like 3 times a day. So in that sense, I was going crazy. Like, it felt like I'd lost my mind.
Oh, man.
But it's done now. It's coming out in October.
Coming out, finally.
Yeah.
It was a mad rush. It might not have. Like, the whole rush was, I can't remember why we got delayed, but we, like, put it in the postal, it's called Parcel Force over here. Paid a lot of money to get it delivered in 3 days because they were screaming for it, the distributor and the film labs. 2 weeks later, I go on my computer just to check where it was, and it was still in the UK. I was like, oh my God. So, like, we had to phone these guys up 3 times. They were like, okay, it's sorted. Off it goes to the UK. Next, 3 days later, it's back in the UK. So you can imagine how the film labs and that in the US, they were going crazy.
Oh my God.
Normally you need a movie, it's like 2 months before to put it on all the platforms, get the duplication. Mm-hmm. So as we speak, they are pushing it as hard as they can to make sure everyone's going to have it in time, have the discs made. I don't know. It seems all sorted, but yeah, it was a bit stressful. And of course, a lot of people don't know, but you have to do, it's called a QC test, which is a quality control. So they test the picture, the blacks, the colors, they all have to be broadcast. All the sound has to be perfect. Otherwise, you get a fail, and then it comes all the way back. And then you have to do it again. But luckily, I passed it first time.
Oh, right.
So I was just like, thank God. So I was just dreading to know Like, especially when you do like the surround sound, so much stuff can go wrong.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like, it's gone.
Curiously enough, there's a button for that. Broadcast safe.
Yes.
You tick it, and it automatically scales the scopes back.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that works.
I still use I color correct everything to the scopes, but I'll still put a broadcast safe layer above it all just to make sure.
Nice.
Because I've had films come back where it's like, this bit's a tiny bit too dark. And it's like $1,000 to submit to the QC test. So it's like, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
Oh, man.
All right.
So I have a question. Is there going to be a Redwood Massacre 3?
You know, I wrote a full treatment for the third film just in case the second one's successful. And it's so different to the first two. And I put it to one of the producers, and he was just, I don't think they got it in their head. But it would have the original actors from the second one. Maybe not Danielle, because she's probably too expensive for us now. But the actors are invited to a horror festival in a backwards town in America. So all these fans that invite their low-budget heroes. And it's like a weird group of town people that like to experience horror movies for themselves. So they get their favorite actors across and then hunt them down to kill them. So they're all like wearing the Redwood Massacre masks, you know, like the fans of the. But I think maybe it's a step. It might be too much. I don't know. It's amazing in my head, but trying to explain it to people, they're like, so it doesn't have the killer guy. I'm like, well, it does. But it's just someone dressed as him, pretending to be him. So I don't know.
I love it. You're
something different. Just something different. Something completely, like 360.
Well, yeah. You don't want to keep making the same movie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think I've reached.
You're describing trying to describe this as this big thing that goes on and killers and strangeness and stuff. And, we're sitting here thinking, oh, that's just like Thursday night in any rural town in the Midwest. It's some weird damn people.
The thing that it kind of left my head for a while, but since the movies is getting closer to coming out, we're getting a lot of weird Danielle Harris stalker fans coming on our social media and all that. So it kind of reminded me, these people exist. There's some weird stuff we've been getting. Weird stuff. So it's kind of like, it's quite creepy, that kind of stuff. But so I'm glad I'm not famous, actually, after just seeing a little bit of it. Like, wow, they must get this all the time. So,
I can't even, I guess I can imagine. Because
I watch a lot of crazy stuff, but when some of the videos we were getting sent, I was like, that's weird. It's weird.
Oh man!
Especially when she's quite famous when she was younger. When she was in the Halloween movies, and you've grown guys kissing their TVs, and I don't know. It's like I told her she was making the new movie in Los Angeles. I told the producer, I goes, I don't know. There's a crazy person on here who's also called Danielle Harris. That was the red flag. It's like a cloned page and all this stuff, and she's posting all these random sex scenes from her movies over and over and over and over. So maybe that would be a good movie. All these crazed horror fans invite their actors over to a horror festival, and then it's to kill them.
You know what? They invite Ben?
Yes.
Is the killer? So that would be it. They invite Ben. So the actors who played the killers are now the kids running through the forest trying to outdo. And I don't know if you want to do like a last man standing kind of thing, but I think that would be awesome if you could get. Can you imagine Robert Englund and Ben and any one of the 80 guys who played Jason? And have them just be themselves, and then just what do we do?
Rabbit fans.
Well, mostly, you just run.
I spoke to Gary Casper and Damien Puckler, who were in the Redwood Massacre, about maybe playing themselves, like a hyper version, like Damien, the big shot that made this movie that he hates, and Gary, who's convinced he is an action star, but actually he's not. That kind of... and they were there. I think they would do it. But again, it all depends how the second film does. If that film comes out and just kind of disappears, then that probably will be the end of Red Massacre. Or there'll be like a super low budget version that comes out to cash in on maybe Danielle's being attached to the second one. You know how these people work.
Yeah.
You make a movie for $2,000. Redwood Massacre 3 on the title. A bit like the Hellraiser movies.
Right. I think here's how you make it so that Danielle doesn't really have to be in the third one if you can't, if they don't want to pay to have her in it. You ask her if she'll just do one quick Zoom meeting where they're asking her if she wants to come, and she's like, "Have you seen the stuff these people send me? No." I'm not going.
I think she would do it. I think she would maybe do it. It's just, everything's just so expensive once you get like actors like that involved. But so my fingers are crossed the film does well. I mean, they really are, because
I think it will.
The reviews have been pretty good. I mean,
I've only seen 2, and one was kind of okay. I got like a German. This guy on my Facebook, he makes movies. He's like, "Oh, I know the people that do the reviews in Germany. Do you want me to send it to my friend?" I was like, "Okay." He sent it, and then I got the review, and it's basically just massacring the movie. And me personally, I was like, "Man, why did you get me to send it to him?" So I don't know if this film is going to please everyone, just because maybe it didn't. You never know. You just don't know. Maybe it's too different. Maybe not enough people died. Blah blah blah.
I know. We're gonna push it. I mean, like I said, we've been keep bringing it up and teasing people about it.
I think enough people died in this movie.
Yeah,
that's what I thought, but apparently not.
And hopefully someone will, take a peek and everything. I wish we were movie critics. Because we have no gravitas in any kind of community here. We're just a husband and wife who, we want to write, and in the meantime, we're going to do this podcast and talk about, things not to do.
It's like everything. One person might like it, the other guy hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we loved it, and we're gonna talk about it next week.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it again with notes and figure out how to do it differently. Because, like I said, we don't want to give anything away.
And when does this podcast come out, guys? I'm just thinking.
So this one, let me bring up my sheet here. Is
it before the 17th?
Should be. Usually it's 2 weeks. So this will come out. So us talking to you right now will post September 29th. And then Redwood Massacre episode, Annihilation episode will post on October 6th.
Okay, so this is going to come out on the 29th.
Yes.
Oh, right, yeah. So we've got like some cool news on the 17th because we got into Fright Fest. So we're having our premiere at Fright Fest in London. So that's like the gold, the jewel.
Yes.
The jewel for UK horror.
Fright Fest is huge.
So we got told that like maybe a month ago. I was just like, wow. I was like, no way. I finally got into Fright Fest. Thank you, Danielle Harris. Thank you. So we're going to have like a proper premiere, and some of the stars, Gary Casper's coming flying over to London for the premiere and all that kind of stuff. So
excellent.
Yeah. So I need to go and send that to the German guy, give me a bad review. I have to say, like, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be sure to play off that too, as it's coming up, because that's huge.
Congratulations.
It's good. One of the festival guys, he actually used to live in Scotland. He actually recognised some of the locations, so maybe that kind of swayed the vote. But
nice. Oh, before we go, I need to just ask if you've heard of this, because it's something that happened last night. I was scrolling through Instagram, and coincidentally, those paid posts, something popped up. And I thought, I'm going to look at this because we're talking with David tomorrow, and it has to do with Scotland. There is a conservation society selling 1 square foot plots of land.
Yes. That's true.
Okay. And when you do that, you get to officially call yourself a lord or a lady.
Here's a funny story, because there was a guy in the crew on Redwood Massacre and Annihilation, and his official title, even on his payslips, is Lord Barry Thackeray. So we're like, and he's one of the guys who went and bought a small plot of land and got the title. So it's on his driving license, everything. He is a lord. So,
oh my God.
And there's actually tax benefits apparently for it as well, if you live in the UK.
Wow.
So it's a weird one.
Interesting. It's funny because we could get they have a couples package.
Oh, sure.
It's only $87.
It's
and
like
you get
Glencoe, I'm sure.
2 square feet of, or 1 by 2.
But you're not allowed to do anything with the land. That's
right.
It's just invisible property.
Yeah, they're very specific about that.
Symbolic.
Undeveloped and everything. Well, you're
it's
in
like
the register.
A plot in the moon.
Yeah. You're in the register as the owner, which allows you because of how it all works in Scotland, it allows you to use that title as an official title. But yeah, they're doing it so that people can't build on it. And I just wanted to ask, is that a concern? I mean, is there that much urban growth that?
No. I mean, the places where they're selling plots, it's called Glencoe. It's where like Highlander, shots from Braveheart, James Bond. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's huge mountains. I think there's only like 3 houses there. It's that kind of remote. So it's, I don't know. I think it's just a money scam to get your money. But like if you get the title, like Barry Thackeray, Lord Barry Thackeray. Technically, they should be calling him Lord Thackeray. So it's like,
I'll have to think about it.
It's worth it for $80. Maybe worth doing.
Lord James might be confused me with Lord Jim though, and I don't want that association.
And you know what? I think legally you can take that over to America. The title though, like you should.
Yes.
You will be recognized. Yeah. Yes. As a lord.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it means shit all here, but.
Well, you'll be up there with like Lord Vader, so you're in good company and all that kind of stuff.
I like it.
We are the Lords of Misrule Productions.
That's true. That is our production company name.
Yeah. Ooh.
And plus, hey, if you ever fly to the UK, you might get upgraded to first class because they'll think you are a lord.
They had testimonials from people who have.
Really?
Tickets. Yeah, it was Lord Bethany, Thompson or whatever, and they got walked to the first class because they bought a commercial ticket.
That's worth $80.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah!
Right, we're gonna have to do that.
Oh man, I honestly thought you were going to tell me that I was out of my. It was just shit. But this is
1,000,000% true.
Funny, nice. All right.
So
well, we are at that mark where you should probably be getting ready for this big meeting.
So before we let you go, and thank you so much for all your time, is there anything that you want to make sure to plug on the
Redwood Massacre Annihilation, 20th of October, out in the US, starring Danielle Harris and the rest, and Damien Puckler, because I keep forgetting he was in Grimm, the Grimm TV show and all that. So that actually they got the PR people are just starting the next part, like they do the trailer and then they start doing the interviews. So Danielle and Damien, they're going to be doing some television, TV interviews, all that kind of stuff. So
cool.
They're giving the movie a push. Like I've never had a film before. Obviously, I never had any like no names in it, but I can actively see them trying to push the film. So I'm hoping it gets a fair go when it comes out. And then,
well, we will certainly do our best. Actually, you could probably. It's been a while since you've written anything for Cultured Vulture.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe kind of goose the.
I write for a review site. So, well, I haven't in a while, but occasionally.
It's an occasional thing, but
they pay me like $1 an article. It's pretty cool.
Really? $1?
Yeah.
$1 for a whole article. That's how much they pay.
Yeah.
God. I was going to ask if people got paid to do that, but that's crazy. That's blowing my mind, actually.
Most of the people who write on it, they do it to get the free, like, you can test games and you write reviews. So they do it to be able to get the games early, and then they write the review, or they, get the screeners, and then they can write the review, or, whatever.
Do they like send a check for $1? Do they really do that?
I get paid via PayPal.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I
guess I can see. I can see the benefits of getting to see movies first and games.
And we like getting into things like Danny did an audiobook. She got paid to narrate a book. She gets paid on the back end, so it's based on sales. And what was the last?
Like $10 for 3 months. I've literally made tens of dollars from this audiobook.
Yeah, well, I'm on the back end deal for Redwood Massacre Annihilation, so I'll probably get paid about $20 by the time this is done. Yeah, the good old back end deals.
Oh yeah,
they always say that to me, like, we'll give you 2-3 points or whatever percentage, like, or blowing my mind, with generosity. I'm just like, God, guys, I'm not that stupid.
I'm 100
bloody movie business. Yeah. That's 20% of nothing. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't expect you to know maths, so.
It's always with a smile, though. Every time they do it, like, I've managed to wangle this for you.
I know.
That's amazing. Thank you. But no, I want the money.
The art of the sale.
Yeah.
So October 20th. We have
20th.
DVD and VOD. And I'll say tentatively it's supposed to happen. But, always let people know. Sometimes there's a day in between.
What's that, the release?
Yeah, like if something were to happen, or you're confident they're going to make it.
It's out on the 20th.
All right. There we go. So October 20th. Everyone knows you need to see this movie.
It's amazing.
Next week we're going to talk about this movie and not spoil it, because we don't often do pre-release. So we'll try to keep it as general, but you got to see it. It's fun.
It's gorgeously shot.
It's everything about it is gorgeous. Yeah. This man.
The next movie, the one I'm away to do, it's the first film I'm doing with. I'm not being the DP or the camera guy, so it's going to be a weird one for me.
Oh.
It's going to be one where I just sit in front of a monitor, which is, I think it's going to be quite hard for me actually now, like when you think about it. But yes.
Well, you feels like I'm moving up.
It feels like I'm moving up, but I'm probably just moving sideways.
Well, no, see, today you're sitting in front of a monitor, and one day tomorrow you'll be sending your stuff out to a post-production house.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dream. That's the dream.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, David Ryan Keith, the creator of some awesome films. We've done Attack of the Herbals. We've done Redwood Massacre. We're going to do Redwood Massacre Annihilation. We're going to do Ghosts in the Dark. And when we get to it, movies are wonderful. Doesn't matter the budget. We have jumped on, and if anyone's listened to those episodes already, you know that they're just brilliant. And that really just comes from a talent that you can't learn from film school. You have it. And David, you have it. That's why we're fans for life, man. We're going to watch everything.
That's very good. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh, but thank you for speaking with us again.
No, thanks for having me again.
And we hope this meeting goes well. I hope it's not an angsty meeting coming up. But you haven't been pounding pints this whole time, so I think you're all right.
Yeah, I know. I've decided that all these interviews I have to not drink any alcohol. So.
All right. So with that, B-siders, we're gonna close out and.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was David Ryan Keith, writer-director of Redwood Massacre, Annihilation.
An all-around nice guy.
Yes. So that portion was done yesterday on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Today is Sunday. And this morning, you got a magnificent little notification.
I did. It was from... I learned that it was from Thursday of last week that he had posted it.
Oh, okay.
But he had gotten the artwork for the sleeve for the DVD.
Yeah.
And they had listed the wrong director, and they had messed up Lorraine's name as an executive producer. So
no end of trouble. I mean,
I know.
Oh my God. I think when we do the intro for this, I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out that, making the movie is easy. It's all the fucking shit after it. That is just a nightmare.
I know.
Good talk.
Yeah.
And a lot of nightmare post.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
When you talk to someone like David, who's been doing this for a long time, he's a lot of experience doing it. He's been through just so much doing this. You can learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
About what to expect and where to draw the line.
Yep.
In your negotiations with distributors, with producers, and so on.
You've got to stand your ground in this business. You have to bend like a reed in the wind. Mm-hmm. Mr. Paul Atreides. Dune's on my mind.
Well, I know, yeah, because the trailer dropped very recently.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited.
Well, I'll come back to that in a second, because I have plateau levels I have to discuss.
Sure.
But you also, you can only learn this by doing it. There's 1,000 books, thousands of books.
Right. And endless forums and classes and sites.
Yeah. And blogs. And even like on Stage 32, there's everybody. But if you take the time to read like 30 of these blogs, from guests, posts and, on the same subject, they're all different. It's that same thing. Yeah. You get 10 people in a room, you're going to get 10 different perspectives and opinions on something.
Oh, you can spend 20,000 hours, researching and learning and, reading up and studying and,
right.
Everything. But none of it is going to give you as much knowledge, and none of it's going to teach you as much as just doing it.
Right. I always, think of it as it's a fan, like a little folding fan. Mm-hmm. You read all this stuff and you put it in its little slots and then you unfold it. Mm-hmm. Here are many different examples, opinions, and views on things. It's good to know about them because maybe you can reference one if you run into that particular situation. But never, for fuck's sake, never take one and go, this is my path. This is the guru, and I'm going to do everything this guy says, because you won't get anywhere. Because if any one person had, and we've said this before, had any of this 100% correct and straight, we would all be getting paid as writers. We would be making movies.
Yep.
There wouldn't be any struggle as a creative.
No.
Right? So, take all this stuff in. That's why we do these podcasts. It's why we talk about examples in film and what to do, what not to do. And, those are our opinions, but I think we're pretty spot on a lot of stuff. Cause there are just certain things you don't do.
Yeah.
Right. Don't make a movie without sound.
Right.
People aren't going to like it.
Well, I mean, people do, but it doesn't work out.
Right. Find some. And we've done a couple that had some really bad sound, and, you can sit through the pain, but, until you go out and do it. But I think the biggest thing is, and like I said, David's been doing this for a long time. He's such a nice guy and such a sweet, quiet guy. And all of the fucking hurdles and obstacles that he constantly has to face in all of this, goodness. But he still perseveres because he, that's like King Kong balls to say, well, you haven't given me a paycheck, so just put that shit on a shelf and forget about it and move on to other things.
Yeah.
Now that's the other, I think, crippling handicap of a creative is I was just sitting one day, I wasn't doing anything, and he just like fired it up and then bam, ended up doing the work.
Knocking it out, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just times you just can't not fidget with shit.
Well, yeah.
But, stand your ground. We've talked about it. We will definitely risk losing a deal over a few die on this hill points.
Yeah. And, I think there are a lot of people who are like that. And then there are some people who are like, I don't care. I just want a paycheck. And, however you feel, that's fine.
Right.
But just know your values and what matters to you.
And it's different too. So we're talking about B movies and independent film, right? Where it's kind of, I mean, at one point you're 100% control. Like David is 100% control of his production. He's the director. He's the writer. He's the cameraman. He's doing all the stuff. He's, getting everything going, and barring, nature and,
well, yeah.
fate.
I mean, he does have to send them the script and, go through all that, but.
Well, right. But you're in complete control. And then afterwards, you may or may not be in as much control of the further you get in post and everything, you start losing more and more control, because once you finish that last edit and you send it off, right now, all these people have it in their hands and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
But interestingly enough, in A movies, so the big movies, and we've seen it, I don't know how many times in the last year and a half, all these directors and actors who are like, oh, fuck this. This is how I'm going to do it. And the studio's like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Right. So the higher you get, the more likely you are to get fucking fired for holding your ground.
True. Where
if you stay in the B/indie realm, these people need you as much as you need them.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, so what's important to you? Like I said, we have our sticking points that we're not going to sacrifice, and, but then there's a lot of stuff we've talked about, if they wanted to do this, that, or the other thing, and sure, willing to discuss. I mean, you got to be that way too.
That's true.
It's no matter what you do, it's collaborative.
It is. And it is, I mean, it's even different from project to project, from script to script.
Oh, yeah.
We have some scripts that I'm like, if they change a bunch of shit, it's probably okay.
Right.
And then there are some where I'm like, absolutely not. No, this is,
right.
This is how it is.
And with the series, right? A lot of things about the scripts and the episodes and stuff we talked about, we're pretty fluid in its creation. There's some this has to be here, this has to be here, this has to be here in the beginning. The pilot has to have these things because that's what launches the next 10 plus years.
Yes.
Of this series. But in our Bible, there are things that we absolutely will not stand for.
Right.
To happen, and I think we're 100% good on that. I don't know. We'll see one day when it gets to that point. Someone says, hey, we need to do this particular kind of thing in the show to, get interest. And I get to go, Raw! And you get to do your very quiet, evil.
I'm not evil. I'm so nice.
You're just not as loud as I am, but you're infinitely more scarier. So, again, a lot of things were talked about. And in this particular time, if you are or were making a movie and it got cut, it stopped like a lot of things.
Right.
David, who's an accomplished man, just overall director, writer, producer, has his own production company, and it's, very good. He's doing side jobs for folks.
Well, yeah.
If you have that skill, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with going, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Back down the ladder?
I don't know if that's it, but there's nothing wrong with, just pivoting to, just do what you need to do.
Well, and I think too, I know this is a problem with a lot of people. We track, creatives and stuff, and some of that we know, where it's, if I'm not doing this one thing, then I'm not going to do anything at all.
Right.
This is my thing. And I think we have a different view on that because we have the work ethic, like very simple. You need to put food on the table and a roof over your family's head. So you will do whatever it is that you'll do. And, we've had the benefit of working some of the worst jobs. I made hammers, which was physically wrecking and almost cost me an eye. I shoveled pig shit, for pocket money. And I've worked as a janitor. I've worked, taking body parts out of operating rooms to a medical incinerator. But none of that is that wasn't my career.
Right.
Right. And you've worked a bunch of just mind-numbingly boring, endless, go nowhere jobs. But if that's what you have to do for that period of time, because you're not in what you want to do or what you were doing,
right?
That's what you do. And as a creative, man, it's tough. It's tough because you get paid today. You might not get paid tomorrow. You have to be prepared to do what you can. And I think it's been so long already, this fucking pandemic. But I think it's going to go even longer. So I'll say,
6.5 months.
Yeah. And there's going to be probably another 6 months.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. I hope we're wrong.
It's going to go all through the winter.
This is the ultimate chance for you as a creative listener to figure out what it is you can do. And say you don't know anything about sound mixing. All right. Spend a month. If you're not doing anything else, right? Spend a month playing with stuff, reading some books, some articles, the videos. We've talked about that. Everything you need to know is out there, to give you a cursory understanding. Learn it yourself. And guess what? You could be one of those Craigslist guys.
You could.
Who, mix a short independent film, for someone else, and because they had it done and they don't know what they're doing. Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't anything wrong with it. And I just thought of a fun project that,
Ooh.
could do for yourself if you're interested in learning, sound mixing in particular, but you could, alternate this for pretty much anything that you wanted to do. But take an old film or an episode of a TV show or something, rip the sound out and just recreate the sound for the whole thing.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You're
not selling it.
Imitation or replication or duplication is sometimes the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Or
if you want to learn about, direction, Take an episode of a show and recreate it with your, stuffed animals or just you playing every part, or whatever it is. It's a quick way to learn a whole bunch of things.
Yes. I just do stuff. I mean, that's what we've been saying all along, even before this.
Yeah.
The more you do stuff, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you're going to get, and the more understanding. And, it's not uncommon. Someone who like us, or someone who is like us, or writers, right, all of a sudden end up doing direction.
Right.
And they don't write their own stuff. Like, you know what? This was infinitely more satisfying when I stumbled into this than pounding out pages. Let someone else pound out the pages. I want to create the visual, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You can, a journey starts out one step at a time, but there's so many forks in the road and so many paths you can end up on. Do what you feel good doing, be open to stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if J.R.R. Tolkien had ended up on a movie set, he would have, instead of being the writer, he'd have decided that he just adored set design.
Yes. I can see that. Hey, so speaking of movies, you mentioned Dune. You're excited. Yeah. We saw the official trailer. I'm nervous because here's the thing.
You're scared to be excited.
I'm scared to be excited because, I read the books when I was, very young in the 70s and didn't actually read the newer book, like House Atreides, House Harkonnen, that new chapter of series that came out. I still haven't read them because I'm just other things to do and I don't know that it's what I need to know. But I was super excited when Dune came out. And we talked about this in a previous episode where when Dune came out, I went to the theater in 1984 and they were handing out glossary sheets, terminology sheets and stuff, right? And I thought, what the fuck is this? And then I watched the movie and admittedly, David Lynch did, I still think, a magnificent job. He hates the fucking movie. I don't know. I think he's got a couple wrinkles in his bed sheets anyway, but it was one of those deals where you can't put all of that novel on film. You just can't.
Right.
85% of that book is internalization.
Yeah.
It's an internal journey. And yes, people are like, well, if you're a writer and a director, you can translate that to, visuals. Well, you can, but there's so much of it.
Yeah.
And budgetarily speaking, one of the great things a lot of us Dune fans were waiting for was like the Fremen attacks, in the movie, they didn't have their cloaks.
Right.
Right. So, all these Fremen breathing through their still suits covered in their cloaks in the sand and boom, boom, boom. Here comes all of a sudden, the description of an entire desert floor erupting.
Right.
And, they didn't do that. Okay. So I got past that. And there's a lot of stuff that they chunked out and some other stuff they spent way too long on. It's like, that was 3 sentences in the book, man. Why did that catch you? So then, right, I've lived with that. I accepted it. I watched it, I don't know, dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And then Sci-Fi comes out and says, hey, we're going to do Dune and Children of Dune. And I thought, a little scared because I've seen Sci-Fi's productions.
They're not the best.
No, I was super disappointed with that whole thing. And then it's just sat. And then all of a sudden, here we are. Now, yes, we have some popping names in this.
Names.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. All the names.
But there's a couple things. So the director of this did Arrival, which is on the list of one of my least enjoyable sci-fi films.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. But I was not plussed by the fact that for the trailer, they did a super fucking bad cover of Pink Floyd. This is an epic sci-fi mega adventure, right? I'm sure they could have busted out some music from the movie, some composition to give us a little bit of the feel. Because, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't mind it. So,
well, it's like putting fucking punk rock music in Star Trek, into darkness. Man, I could have done without that fucking movie. Watching it on mute is infinitely better, but the director he's all about that kind of music. I'm like, Jesus Christ, whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping he expands the visual feast to a satisfactory level, but we'll see.
Yes, we shall.
All right. Oh, before we start signing out, we did a recording with our friend Miles Trout.
We did.
On the Disc Dump podcast this last Thursday.
The Disc Dump.
And he's doing a whole Masters of Horror, the whole first season of Masters of Horror through all of October. So
much editing to do.
He does.
Poor Miles.
Hey, be ambitious.
Yeah.
He's so much fun to talk with.
He really is.
And so I encourage you folks, look up the Disc Dump. You can he's on iTunes. You can look him up on Twitter to get some other info and links and stuff if you have a different platform. Mm-hmm. Right. But it's not just movies. It's all things disc. He has apparently like a hoarder's collection of movies, music, and video games. And his whole point of the podcast is to go through this, and then he's going to decide to,
curate his collection.
Yeah. Keep it or dump it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
it's really fun to listen to.
He is. It's fun. So, give him a check out and, look for the episode. We did, Dreams in the Witch House.
Yes.
That's the episode that we watched to talk to him about on the show. And I will leave it at that. Listen to it to find out the rest, folks.
Yeah.
If you're looking for other episodes, guess what?
You can go to our website.
Yeah.
It's www.lordsofmisrulproductions.com. Fun fact on the Disc Dump podcast. I don't know if he put it in the episode, but Miles asked us why the name Lords of Misrule Productions, and we gave a little explanation. So if you want to hear it, you should go listen.
Yeah.
And if it's not on there, let us know, and then we'll tell you on our next episode.
Yeah. Or if you want to know, we're happy to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go to our website for past episodes. It's www.lordsofmisrulproduction.com. Productions.com. Again. You can find all of our episodes on there, our blog, information about other projects that we're working on.
Big announcement. So we finished the principal shooting of our quarantine fun short film. And I have it roughed together, the scenes. But because of the nature of this film, and I don't want to give anything away, there's going to be zero sound brought in from any of the filming. So all of the sound has to be recreated because we have to do ADR.
Yeah.
So
there's still a lot of work left to do on it. A lot of stuff to do. Principal photography is done.
Yes.
So,
but we will be putting stuff up here and there.
Oh,
let you know where we are on that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But also on our website, you can find links to where you can find our podcast, like on whatever podcast platform that you like best or listen to.
Yeah, well, the platforms that we're on.
Yeah. You can also find links to our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Mm-hmm. You can find a link to our Patreon page. If you like this podcast and want to support it, please check out our Patreon page and become a patron. Patrons get access to cool stuff like episodes early and soon to be merchandise.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right.
Last but not least.
Yes.
If you like this podcast, please give us a rating and a review.
Yes.
On whatever platform that you listen on.
Yep. It's just important, period.
Yeah. It helps other people find our podcast. It might bring other B-siders to the B-side.
And, well, maybe even some fools to the festival. Or the feast.
Oh, you sneaky sneak.
I know. All right, B-siders. Have a good week. We will be... Oh, I guess we can do a quick spoiler. Next episode, we're going to talk about...
Redwood Massacre. Annihilation.
Yes, we are. David said we could go ahead and pop one out. It's going to be different. Slightly different format. We're going to try to give as little away as possible.
Because we don't want to spoil it, because it does not come out until October 20th.
Right. And we might actually revisit it for a full walkthrough. After it's like sometime in November. I think that would be kind of cool.
Potentially.
Yeah. Not that we don't have a long list of stuff. But, so, with that, stay safe, people.
Yes.
Do your thing. Wear your masks. Get through the days. We all know it's shit. We're tired of talking about it. We don't know when it's going to end, but you know what? Get through it. Go to sleep. Get some rest. Wake up. Brand new day.
Yeah.
And then just get through that. Like the rest of us.
Keep hoping.
All right.
All right.
So we'll talk to you next week, people. This is Jim.
And this is Danny. Thank you for listening.
We're out of here.
Bye.